Welcome to Makeout Sessions, your 7 minutes in heaven, brought to you by Kiss and Tell. As our first date night at home episode, we'll be exploring winemaking with Blendtique Wine Company and checking in with our Kiss and Tell bride, Adriana Vazquez, on her newlywed life. So, let's make out.
Come inside, take off your coat, I'll make you feel at home. Now let's pour a glass of wine, cause now we're all alone. I've been waiting all night, so just let me hold you close to me. Cause I've been dying for you, girl, to make love to me.
For most of us, we're probably hitting that 1 month point of quarantine and probably getting a little bit stir crazy. So what I wanted to do was put together some fun date night or celebration activities that you could do in the comfort of your own home for everyone to enjoy. Wine blending was one of the first things that came to my mind, and having recently come into contact with Blendtique, a wine company that creates unique blending kits that you can order to your home and enjoy the activity together. So, each of the kits, they come with 4 different wines, a Cabernet, Merlot, Syrah, and Grenache, as well as the different tools to do the mixing and measuring at home. So it's a little bit like chemistry class, but the results are a lot more fun. So I thought we'd take a stab at it. It has been a while since I've dipped my toes into winemaking. I think the last time was probably a trip to Greece about 4 years ago, and it was Domaine Hatchmichalis. But let's see how it turns out this time.
TikTok, you don't stop, stop to the TikTok, you don't stop, stop to the TikTok, you don't stop, stop to the TikTok, you don't stop, stop to the
And voila, I've got my blend of Cabernet, Grenache, and Syrah, a touch of Merlot, but probably wouldn't have used it otherwise if it weren't included. And the thing I love is that I can go back to blendtique.com, enter all the details of the portions of my custom blend, and reorder the bottles at a later date. Now that we've got our wine made, let's check in with our Kiss and Tell newlywed Adriana Vazquez and see how her life is going in quarantine, talk a little bit about her wedding in Merida, Mexico, and just see what that ace is up her sleeve with Lilu, helping moms get ready for going out or doing everything else in their busy lifestyles once they have children. Adriana, welcome to Makeout Sessions.
Thank you, Amy. So excited to be chatting with you today.
I'm so excited to have you, and I can't wait to hear a little bit about newlywed life, especially now that you're quarantined in your New York City apartment. So I know it's kind of crazy times. Tell me about it. How are you guys doing?
Newlywed life is awesome. It's actually probably the longest time we've been together every single day, though, since we've been together, because Cyril travels for work typically every single week. So newlywed life during quarantines has been interesting but amazing.
Have you guys done anything yet for date nights or created special celebrations at home?
Yeah, it was his birthday actually last week, so I had to get creative. What I did is I made him a nice breakfast that we had to squeeze in between calls for work. And I tried to sneak him in some cupcakes, but every time the door would the doorman would ring the bell, he would be like, what's this? So cupcakes were not a surprise. But we then ordered dinner and I made a nice video for him. So we still had a great time, I think.
That's sweet. I love the video idea. Now, one of the things that I was thinking of in these days was how happy I was that you guys got in your wedding before all of this quarantine and, before the pandemic hit. You guys were one of our last couples to get married before we started transitioning kissandtell.com into our 2.0 site. So with that being said, that you're still, I'm sure your wedding's pretty fresh on your mind, your gorgeous Merida, Mexico destination wedding. Can you share a few of your favorite memories or favorite details from the wedding day or the whole wedding celebration, since you guys had a multiple day celebration?
Yeah, I mean, the entire weekend was amazing. That's one of the, I think, benefits of being able to have a destination wedding. So many people travel, right, to spend one day with you. So then that one day becomes 2, 3. We actually had friends that stayed over. They stayed with us for like 5 or 6 days after the wedding because we went to the beach. So the whole thing was amazing, but definitely the day of the wedding, it was magical. So much of it had to do actually with like the venue that we found through Kiss and Tell. It was just the most.
It's gorgeous. It's
Yeah.
dreamy. Absolutely dreamy. Yeah.
Everybody
And
would, how did you find this place? So no, the location was amazing. I mean, I'm from Mexico, so we were able to incorporate like some beautiful like Mexican, I wouldn't say like traditions because they weren't like wedding traditions, but we still had folkloric dances and typical Mexican food. And I mean, it was
for that setting too, because HaciendaTemozon, just for the viewers, is this gorgeous, what is it, about like an 18th century Anakin plantation that's converted now into a boutique hotel. And so the amazing thing was that Adriana and Cyril, and I'd say about a third of your guests were able to stay there the entire time, and the others were staying at other nearby hotels. But the setting is just majestic, and all the gardens and such. So it's, in my opinion, it's one of the most picturesque places that you can have your wedding in Mexico. And I mean, there are tons, but it's just amazing. And so all of your guests enjoyed Merida. And tell me about some of the other activities, like your rehearsal dinner or other things that you did, your welcome party, and how those turned out, especially being that Merida is like a really cute cultural town.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, because the hacienda is a little bit away from Merida Center, we wanted to have the welcome party be in the center so that everybody that was not staying at the hacienda could like, have one of the nights be close to where they were staying, and for everyone at the hacienda to be able to also enjoy the city center because it's so beautiful. Like everywhere you walk around and like the houses, like say the entire city is actually very picturesque. So we had this beautiful dinner at it's a new restaurant called the Museo de la Gastronomía, and people loved it. It's just, I think Merida has this gastronomic boom, and Mexican tourists love it. Tourists from the US love it, and European tourists apparently really, really like it. So I think it has such a beautiful like vibe and mixture of things. So given that our guests were traveling from all over the world,
you guys really expand the globe with your guest list, and you had a really large destination wedding, which for us, you guys were our largest so far. We did do we had one Indian wedding that actually had a really large guest list, but it wasn't technically a destination wedding. So, I mean, for so many people to come from all over the world, you guys are really loved by your friends and family. First of all, I think it's amazing that they all traveled there, but I think it's really cool that they got to experience Merida because it's definitely one of those tourism destinations that's growing in popularity.
Yeah.
San Miguel de Allende has been really popular for, say, 10 years or so. And now Merida, being like a colonial city as well, is starting to get its traction with tourists from the States or Canada or Europe. And it's always been a gem that's been enjoyed by the Mexican nationals. So, well, beyond wedding speak, let's get back to the date nights because today our theme is winemaking. And with that, I know we both have our little wine that we're drinking. So cheers to you. Cheers to you and Cyril and your approaching 6-month anniversary, which I think we're going to be probably celebrating indoors. So one of the things that, I was sharing earlier on this episode was I thought it was a really cool idea to do a winemaking activity just as a fun date night. But tell me what kind of ideas you guys have for your anniversary celebration. I know it's only the 6 months, so you won't be breaking out like the cake topper or anything. But what are some of the thoughts that you guys were looking to do to just make it special while you're still quarantined in your apartment?
Yeah, well, since I already did a video, I will not be repeating the same. So Cyril really enjoys cooking, and he's actually kind of been like a blooming chef over the past couple of days and weeks.
Lucky you.
We live in an apartment that has a rooftop, so maybe I'll ask if we can, reserve it for like a couple hours so that we make sure that nobody uses it, given the social distancing measures. But maybe we can have like dinner upstairs, and if the weather's nice, like a candle lit outdoors dinner.
I love it. Under the stars and with a magnificent view. So I mean, I guess that is one of the benefits to being in the city right now. Yeah, your living spaces are quite small, but the ability to go onto a rooftop and have this really amazing view, that would probably make for a really special anniversary celebration. And just so we're not excluding some of the ladies out there who may be new moms, or maybe not new moms, but recently had a child, maybe their second or third, we know that everyone wants to be able to enjoy their wine. So tell me a little bit about Lilu, which I like to say is the ace you have up your sleeve for helping women who are breastfeeding get ready and kind of do things in their normal day-to-day lifestyle a lot easier.
Yeah, so at Lilu, we build technology that empowers new moms, and we launched our first product, which is a massaging bra that moms can use while breast pumping. And that massage just helps pump milk a little bit more easily. And our goal is really to improve pumping technology so that moms are always multitasking, always, and breastfeeding and breast pumping is such a ubiquitous part of motherhood nowadays. So we really want to make it easier. And the massaging bra is kind of like our first product and first answer in how we can make breast pumping easier for moms. So that's what keeps
I love that it's like hands-free. I love that it's hands-free, and I know that in some of your displays and such, you have women working on their computer and such. Do you know how much time does it actually save the mom compared to like traditional breast pumping? What type of numbers of time saving do you have on that?
Yeah, so I mean that's actually a very interesting question. So the number one thing that the bra does is helping moms pump more milk. So rather than saving time, the number one priority is to get enough milk, the amount that the baby needs. But it does save time sometimes if a mom is not having trouble with milk production. We've seen maybe you pump instead of like for 20 or 25 minutes, you're able to cut down like 3 to 5 minutes. But the main thing is about, getting the necessary amount of milk that moms need for their babies.
Yes. And also, I mean, I know this is secondary to that, but the ability to multitask and do other things while the thing is happening is really key, because I'm sure a lot of busy moms are using the product. And so with that said, with everyone being at home these days, are you guys seeing more moms do breastfeeding, or have you not really noticed a difference so far?
Yeah, no, it's interesting. Something that we've been wondering a lot. The reality is that the moms pump for many, many reasons. There's moms that pump because their babies are born prematurely, right? And so, or for some reason or the other, the baby is not able to latch. So pumping is kind of here to stay. There might be a little bit of slow down because most moms pump because they're going back to work. So I think, this really is changing the way that, people work. Maybe more people are going to be able to work from home. But, even then, even if you're working from home, moms may want to pump. There's so many reasons again. So I think it's a little bit early to tell and like what we're gonna see in terms of like, how it affects breast pumping. But I think that also gives us the opportunity, and probably you also see that with Kiss and Tell, right? That there's so many other things we can probably help our audience with, right? I mean, for all the couples that probably now how to postpone their weddings, or how can you support your audience and your consumer, right? Because everybody is now like, wow, what, I don't know, we can't predict what's going to happen in a month, 2 months, 3 months, but we can help people through the questions they have right now. So for us,
exactly, that's the whole reason why I created Makeout sessions, because I felt like there was so much uncertainty in our couples as well as just other couples on social media and just out there in the world reaching out and not knowing what to do. So, like one of the things that I've said numerous times is that I think it's best for those, who have a wedding plan through the end of this year to postpone indefinitely, feel out new dates for the future, but don't even put any new deposits down, because you don't want to go through it again twice without knowing. And we're just suggesting that everyone kind of hold off until normal travel patterns resume as a whole, normal leisure travel patterns. And so at that point that those couples, after people are traveling and getting out there, being around groups for a couple of months, we feel like our couples will have a lot better gauge at that point. But yeah, I mean, there's already a few people thinking, well, maybe we'll make our group a little bit smaller or integrate a little bit of video into the wedding or something for those higher risk guests that, might not be traveling for quite some time. So yeah, I mean, the world is definitely going to be pretty different. Now, just curious, I mean, I know we're drinking wine today, but any plans of being a Lilu customer yourself anytime soon?
Well, Lilu, as you know, as a startup founder, it's kind of a baby, and it occupies my mind like 24/7 almost. So I think for a little while we'll wait. But you never know.
Well, clearly you're very creative. The fact that you're already making videos and things like that for special occasions, I think that's amazing. So hopefully Cyril's cooking is like that equivalent to your creative endeavors. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. Looking forward to our live session, and this was great chatting.
Yeah, thanks so much, Amy.
Great. Cheers, Adriana. See you
Cheers.
in 0-month anniversary just around the corner. All right,
Thank
bye-bye.
you. Bye.
Fortunately, Adriana and Cyril got in their dream wedding in Merida, Mexico long before this pandemic hit. And I'd like to say that everyone these days probably just needs a reason to celebrate, even if it's just a small win around the house. So hopefully we can all raise a glass of wine together or even blend one. And of course, when you're ready to gather, plan, and go again, definitely Kiss and Tell will get you there. So more to come from Blendtique, Adriana, and myself via our Ask Us Anything at the Kiss and Tell official after party on Instagram Live. And tables will be turned with our spicy game of Spin the Bottle. So we'll see you there.